Hey, hello everyone, Ranjit this side. So in this video, we'll be going through how to calculate the SMA, or let's say simple moving average, and then we'll also go through what to calculate the Bollinger Bands, and then the RSI, which is also called relative strength index, then MACD, moving average convergence divergence. Okay, this video is a part of algorithmic swing trading with Python. See, there are 100 or not the 1,000 technical indicators are available in the market, but there are a couple of technical indicators which are being used very frequently by the traders on the day-to-day basis. It could be used for entering the trade or even exiting the position. So in this video, we will be using TA-Lib library to go through some of those indicators which are used very frequently. See, first, these Bollinger Bands are basically used to derive the information about the prices and the volatility of an asset over the time period. To calculate the Bollinger Bands, first we need to create the simple moving average, and then we also need to create, or let's say calculate, the standard deviation of the time series, specifically the price, using a specific window, let's say 20 days. And then we set up the upper band and the lower band, typically at k times, let's say suppose 2 times the moving standard deviation of the moving average. So the interpretation is very simple. The more the volatility is, the more the band will increase, or it will widen more, right? And as the volatility decreases, then the width of the band, let's say, it will reduce. The second the technical indicator that we'll be using is called RSI, or simple relative strength index. So this indicator basically uses the closing price of an asset to identify whether it's oversold or overbought. So when the RSI is calculated basically on let's say 14 days period, and it's measured on the scale of, let's say, 0 to 100. So normally the traders buy a stock, or let's say an asset, when it is oversold. So the scale will come somewhere around 30 or below 30. So a trader will buy a stock, or let's say an asset, when it's oversold, let's say somewhere around the scale of 30, and then the buyer, or let's say, or the trader will sell a stock when it is overbought. So it will come somewhere around when the scale is 70 or 70 plus. So that's when the stock is overbought. But most of the time, the traders use 80-20 scale as well. So 80 for, let's say, overbought, and 20 for oversold. And then the third indicator, which is really important when it comes to, let's say, swing trading or even day trading, is MACD. So it's called moving average convergence divergence. It's a momentum indicator which basically creates a relationship between two EMAs, or let's say exponential moving averages, and those exponential moving averages can be, let's say, 12 and 26. And MACD line is the difference between the fast EMA and the slow EMA. So when we say fast EMA is short period, and then slow EMA is a long period. So long period, when I say, it's let's say, like I said, mentioned earlier, it's 26 days. And then we create MACD signal line, which is more of a 9-day EMA. So whenever there is a crossover between the MACD signal line and MACD momentum indicator, then we buy or sell a particular stock. So we can say we can buy an asset when MACD line crosses above the MACD signal line from the below, right? So it should, if the MACD line or MACD line crosses the signal line from below to upwards, and then we can say that that stock is or the stock can be bought. See, but what we need to understand is we cannot make a decision based on just one indicator, or let's say one technical indicator. We have to use multiple technical indicators just to make sure that the signal that we are getting from is verified, and that can be done only on the basis of using multiple indicators. So for this, I think backtesting is also really important. What we will do in the coming videos, we will also do the backtesting of the indicators, and then we will confirm, in the past, whether that indicator has given the signals, and whether that signal was correct based on the next day's price. Right. So let's go to the code part, and then see how we can create, let's say, how we can create all these indicators with the help of TA-Lib library. So let's start with importing all the libraries that are required. So let's import pandas is SPD, and then import yfinance as YF, and then import TA-Lib dot plot splt, and then we need to import the technical indicator, or let's say the library for the technical indicator, which is TA-Lib, right? Now this is when I was trying to import, or let's say install the TA-Lib library with the help of pip install, that is not possible directly with the pip install. So what you need to do, first you need to download the TA-Lib library from the website, right? So I will share the link in the description from where you can download it, and then based on that, then you need to basically install this particular library. So let's say if the file name is something like this, and then what you need to do, you have to write pip install and then the file name. But again, what you can do, if it is not being installed, you can keep this file or download this file in the same folder where the project is, and then, or let's say with the path that you have given over here, and then you can install it. Because directly it will not install, you have to download it and then install this particular library. Okay, great. So this is done. Now let's create the simple moving average. Or before that, we have to download the data from Yahoo Finance. So let's say data frame is equal to yf.download, and then the ticker name, which I will come back, and then the start. Let's say I'm saying 2022-01-01, and then end date is, let's say again 2/32/12/31, and then I don't need the progress bar, and then auto adjust is equal to true. So like I mentioned in my previous videos, auto adjust is basically the price or the closing price is being adjusted based on the bonus and financial adjustment. I don't want to go into that detail again, so because I have mentioned it many times. df dot head, so I just want to see the data. So here I'm using the vbl.ns. VBL is Varun Beverages Limited, one of my favorite stock, but I'm not recommending it. It just I use this stock for more frequently because it's very stable when it comes to the price and volatility. So why I'm writing head is it will give us the top 5 records. So this is the top 5 records of this particular stock. Now let's create the simple moving average. So df, let's say simple moving average 20 days equal to TA-Lib dot SMA. So SMA is a function being already created in the TA-Lib, so you don't need to create simple moving average again, right? And then df close price, and then I'm giving the time period, which I mentioned 20 days, right? Let's see the data as well. Dot head. It's always good to see the data before moving on to the next step, right? So yeah, so why we have this not available number, because we are saying to create a simple moving average from the 20 days, right? So we don't have the 20 days. The first 20 days it will not show you. So what I can say is, let's go back to tail. You will see the data in the tail. So this is a simple moving average on the last, let's say 5 days of the data. Okay, now let's create the graph based on that. So I'm saying df and then close, and then SMA 20 dot plot, and then title is equal to simple moving average, call it, let's say, right? Run this. So this is the chart or the graph for the simple moving average of this particular. Great. Now let's create the Bollinger Band based on this data, or with the help of simple moving average. Like I mentioned, we'll first create the simple moving average and then standard deviation, and then we will create the upper band and the middle band and then the lower band, right? So db, let me just Bollinger Band, right? So data frame for Bollinger Band up, data frame for Bollinger Band mid, and then data frame for Bollinger Band low. We don't need this one, is equal to TA-Lib dot Bollinger Bands, and then data frame of close, right? So if you would like to see, I'll show you the data as well, or show you the tail, right? So this is only for the up. So in the similar way, you can do for the mid and the low, right? Okay, great. Now let's create the graph for this as well. So figure AX is equal to TLT dot subplots, and then let's create a subplot. So TF dot LOC, I want all the rows, and then close PB up, PB mid, PB low dot plot. AX is equal to AX, and then title equal to Bollinger Band. Right. Okay, great. So we have the Bollinger Band for the particular stock as well. Now let's create the RSI. Right. So let's say RSI or related index. Right. Or let's do one more thing over here. So let's fill this data, like the between the upper level and the lower level. Let's fill the data or the color, fill the data with the color, or let's say fill that range with color. So for that, what we can do, AX dot fill between DF dot index, then DF BB low, DF BB high up, and then we can say the color will be gray. Alpha is equal to point. Let's say if it works, because it was not showing the color, when I was selecting it. I had to run this together. Take. So, yep, right. So that's how we create the Bollinger Bands. Now let's come back to the relative strength index. So let's say DF RSI equal to TA-Lib dot RSI. See how easy it is to create technical indicators now. Because I remember a couple of years back when I was creating this, or let's say I didn't know about this library at that point, and then I actually created, like the logic behind how to create the simple moving average. But again, it's good to know as well, how the calculation is done at the background or behind the code, or let's say behind this library, because then you will be able to make changes based on how you want to see the graph, or let's say. So RSI is here. Let's check data frame RSI dot tail. So we have the data. Figure AX is equal to data frame RSI. My mistake. TLT dot subplot, right? And then let's plot the graph. AX is equal to DF RSI is equal to plot AX is equal to AX. Check dot plot AX is equal to AX, and then title is equal to relative index, right? And also let's create the horizontal lines like I mentioned earlier. We need to have like the upper scale and the lower scale, which is 70 and 30. Let's create that as well. So horizontal line, AX dot horizontal lines, Y axis is 30, X minimum, DF dot index dot minimum, and then X max equal to DF dot index dot max, right? Color is equal to, let's say, red. Let's do the same for 70, maybe 20, and then DLT dot, right? So this should give us the RSI graph. Okay, great. See, the good part, it really went like oversold. That's what I was saying. This stock it's less volatile, I would say. And then it's very stable. And then at least every year, somewhere around, I think June or July something, there is a bonus, or let's say stocks. Anyways, I'm not recommending it. It's against the policy of let's say our finance authority, or RBI. Or I don't know. Maybe you can comment it in the comment section. I know it, but I'm not able to remember it right now. Okay, now let's create the MACD. So MACD is basically moving average convergence time. Like I mentioned, so the moving average or MACD line, if it crosses from below the MACD signal to, or it crosses up, so it's a time to buy the stock. But again, we should not be depending on only one technical indicator. We should have a couple of, or let's say at least 2 to 3 multiple couple of technical indicators. But also please make sure that you also go through the fundamentals of fundamental analysis as well, because you cannot just be depending on the technical analysis, because there are people or operators who who also plays with such kind of data, or let's say technical indicators, and then basically the system will not differentiate between it, whether that stock is being operated by any particular operator. So always have an eye of what your system is doing when you have a algorithmic trading system. Okay, so let's create MACD, DF, MACD, and then also let's create DF, MACD signal, right? And then DF, MACD history, right? So, and then technical indicator, got MACD, built function, DF, close, and then here we have to pass multiple parameters like short fast period and the slow period. So let's say fast period is equal to 12, I think, and then slow period is equal to 26, like I mentioned in the example. And then signal period, again we will give somewhere 9. So yeah, let's just see the data as well, because I'm very particular about seeing the data after it's been created. So tail, good, so move it, and then figure x is equal to ELT dot subplot 2 comma 1, and then share x is basically shared axis equal to 2, right? Okay, and TF MACD, and then MACD signal dot plot AX is equal to AX index, and then title is equal to MACD, right? I think this is the first subplot, and after that what we also do, bar graph, we have MACD history, yeah, and then we have also index history dot values, and then label MACD. Let's try to run this. Subplot takes 1 or 3 position. I think yeah, great. So this is our MACD and then MACD history. Okay, I think so. Basically, it's not history; it's a histogram. So this is histogram. My mistake, right? So basically, histogram is a difference between these two, and then I try to create it on another side. Okay, great. I think this is too much for this video. In the next video, we will be going through downloading the technical indicators, and till then, bye, take care, have a great day, and eat healthy.